do is you should ask them what kind of fucking music they listen to. And
Was it April? Was it you telling me that like I think you like would sneak into your dad's room and play his bass? How did that work?
Oh gosh, okay, so here's how that happened. So my parents were going through a divorce, and my dad couldn't. My parents were in a band like growing up all the time, and my mom was a singer, my dad was a guitar player, and my dad couldn't find a bass player, so he threw a bass on my mom and said, "Learn it." My mom never really picked it up, and the bass just kind of sat in the band room at my house. And my parents were splitting up, and I'd get home from school I lived with my dad before my dad got home, and I would sneak into the band room and plug in the bass and play on it. And eventually I got caught, and I got in trouble. And then my dad said, "Hey, you're pretty good." And so he let me have it, and then he just gave me, a couple albums to learn, and basically worked my way through Moving Pictures and, 2112, and by the time you get through those albums, you can play. But that's how I started playing bass. I began on piano. I've been playing piano since I was real small, but I've always been drawn to bass. I used to memorize. My dad would practice in the house, and so I would hum the bass lines, and I would know when the bass player screwed up and like sing it really loud from my room. If they hit a bad note, and then I would play along. And then once I was allowed to play the bass in the room on the one that I still have that bass actually, but I would play along with his band practices. And if the bass player screwed up, I would just turn my volume all the way up and play louder than them, or what I thought was louder than them. They probably couldn't hear me,
that's
but
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, besides some, uncles and stuff, the only one who plays music. So, but that's one thing that depresses me about not having kids, is not being able to pass on that trait of, maybe them becoming a musician. But, it is what it is. So I got to play for myself. Nothing I can do about that. But that's a great story.
I used to want to sit in the room with my parents. That's probably why I have tinnitus. I've had tinnitus since I was like 6. But my mom used to try to put like socks over my ears and stuff because I insisted on being in the room when they were having band practice, and I can't hear for shit anymore. But yeah, it was cool growing up in that environment, and yeah, I feel you on that. I hope eventually, if I do have kids, that they like music, because I wouldn't know what to do with a jock. So
I
can't even make fun of me. I don't know what to do.
That story made me think about this kid when I was growing up who didn't like music. This kid, Michael. I'm like, how does someone not like music? It's like, that's the weirdest. I still think about that guy every once in a while. It's just, how does someone not like music? He just didn't listen to music.
He had feelings he didn't want to deal with.
Yeah, probably. Just a weird little kid, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what happened.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah. It's just stuck in my head my whole life, because since I'm 3 years old, I knew that that's kind of what I wanted to do. I mean, my brothers were listening to Kiss and AC/DC and Judas Priest and shit. And I was like, wow, I want to do that. And they're like, yeah, you're never going to be able to do that. And I guess they were wrong about that, because
that's
I
cool.
did. But, the family's always the worst if they, don't believe in what you're going to do. My family, my mom supported me and stuff, but see me play like once. My dad seen me play like once, and it just, I didn't get the support there. So that was rough, but I didn't really need it because I was doing it anyway. So you
hung your own pictures on the fridge.
Yeah, they just didn't understand why I wanted to be a metal musician, and why I they thought it was satanic stuff back then. I mean, Slayer, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, they think I'm satanic because of a fucking band. It's a trip, but, I was what I was. I was picked on in school and shit, and I didn't give a fuck. I wore my hair metal shirts. I didn't care if you hated it. I was an individual and didn't care if you didn't like what I liked. I liked it, and I was proud of it, so. Fucked up. But
I
anyway.
had the exact opposite experience. My dad would be disappointed if I became a doctor. He still thinks I'm going to be a rock star. So God bless my dad.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I don't, honestly, I didn't think there was any faith in me to do anything. Or they just didn't care. It was just, my, single growing up and didn't really have time to worry about what I was going to do. She had to worry about how she was going to get food on the table, I guess. So left that all up to me. But, it is what it is. I don't regret a thing, man. I've toured and I've done some great shit. So I'm satisfied with, how I presented myself in the music industry. And you guys should be too, man. You guys are a great band. And I'm honored to know you guys and get a chance to have you on the show and play the music and be one of the first people to hear it. I mean, that's what I do this for is, is this the satisfaction of, helping bands and, being the first one to play it and get it out there and, try to make things happen. Not that I make things happen, but, I have some bands that, were local and on my show have gone on to bigger and better things. I mean, it's just how it goes. So not that I had a hand in it, but, it's good to be there from the beginning, It's like I support the guy in There Is No Us. He was in Marilyn Manson, but when he formed his new band, I stuck with him from the beginning. And, I was one of his first fans. And it's an honor to, be able to work with these guys and put them on CDs and shit and, collaborate on stuff with such big people in the music industry now. So I wouldn't change it for the world. I could have been in a bigger band, I would have loved that. But, I'm satisfied that I toured and played clubs and opened for King's X and, toured
Oh my
with
God,
Great
you
White.
did that?
Yeah.
That's one of my top 2 of all time. I love King's X so much, man.
Great.
I'm jealous.
Great guys, man. Back in the day when they were putting out their first few albums, the band that got shelved was kind of on the same wavelength as far as, lyrical content and stuff, except there was some sexual innuendos in there and stuff. But I had a great time, man, doing those shows. I played with, Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. We did shows with. We did a bunch of stuff. So this was before all of that ticket shit and, when you actually got asked to play and not have to sell 200 fucking tickets to go to a show or, we paid to be on tours. I'm not going to say we never paid to be on a tour because we did, but that's how that works. I mean, you're going to pay to get on a package tour if unless you're really tight with the band. There's times we paid $6,000 to go out on the road and do 20 shows with a band to play for their crowd. So that's how we were able to sell records and songs and shit. But we came in the midst of everything converting over to MP3, so that's where we kind of got lost in that mix. But it is what it is. But
I want to play with King's X, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, just they weren't huge back then. I mean, I think they had the one song on MTV, but looking back on it now, it was like, man, I played with those fucking guys. They're way underrated. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know who they are. So that's great that that's one of your top bands. That's awesome because they're great. They're a great fucking
I don't
band.
know who they are.
What's that?
So
I said I don't know who they are.
Oh my God.
fuck.
Okay, I'll fix that later.
He's gonna fix that. Well, that's
Let's start with Dogman.
that's the age thing, though. I mean, it's not. I don't know how old the rest of the people are in the band, but that's.
April's 12.
no, I'm not 12. Shut up.
It's a promotional. I mean, there's going to be people that know about them for that style of music. I mean, and the history, but the awareness. I mean, he's going to listen to King's X, and he's probably going to be like, "Fuck, man, I've been missing these guys my whole life."
Yep.
So
good.
The harmonies.
The thing about King's X is they were always 3 to 4 years ahead of what everyone else was gonna do.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
You could look into the future of hard rock, and whatever was happening in '87 with King's X happened in '90, '91 with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree
all
with
the
that.
way down, it was like that.
The harmonies and the bass playing and just everything is an extreme fucking talent, and they're so underrated. It's ridiculous. I mean, the people who are fans of them are fans of them.
They're all musicians too. It's one of those
Yep.
bands where if you're a musician, you're gonna dig King's X.
Yep, absolutely. I'd agree with that. And I wish more people knew about them. So, I mean, now we might even have another one on board.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys calling in. I know you guys been on with me for about an hour or so. So I'm going to get to your song. So tell me about the song "Blown Away." You spoke about it a little bit, but give me a little more detail on it.
It'll blow you away.
April, you can tell about you conceptualize the video for it. So why don't you start with that, and then I'll fill in the blanks.
Oh, I'm gonna mess it up, Oscar.
I know, but that's what's we
So
like.
you got a video you're set to do on this?
Well, we did a cool video. One of our good friends, Teresa, she's an amazing videographer. She did a video for us, and it features my next door neighbor. He cuts our grass. His name is Steven, and he's 10, and he did a really good job. But basically, like, I connected with Blown Away after Oscar wrote it because it was it's basically how I took it, and this is totally wrong. This is how I interpreted the song. Is when you first have that inkling of wanting to play an instrument and you're a kid, you like idolize your favorite bands, and I would like listen to like the bands before I went to school in the morning to kind of absorb their rock and rollness, so that people thought I was like I could project it out.
I hear
And yeah, and you sit there and you listen to like how they're playing, and you're studying them, and it's finding a release as to me it's as a kid through music and feeling accomplished after you learn a song. And there's some lines in there like I can't remember any of it right now because I'm on the spot, but there's this line about like I want to take part of you and make it part whatever. Oscar, what is the line? Like
You're doing good. I'm
doing terrible. What is the line? It's the one where it's like I want to take a part of you and make it part of me.
I want to take your meaning and maybe make it mine.
That one. That.
You know, when you're forging your identity.
When you're forging your identity and you're like, oh, he paints his nails, I'm going to paint my nails black, or I'm going to like do that with my hair, or I'm going to play like this, or I'm going to put my guitar here, or, you know, that kind of thing. I'm trying to figure out who I am, so I'm going to take little bits of people I idolize and as a teenager try to develop it into my own thing. And it just kind of resonated. I don't know, it just kind of resonated with me, and I will give it back to Oscar to explain it in a more cohesive manner.
And to keep on going, it's basically, come on, man, when you start out and you have no idea, you know, you just are. When you're little, man, you just are.
You're more of yourself when you're a kid than you are as an adult. You're trying to figure out who you were as a kid when you're an adult. That's what I think.
And so, like, this basically, it's kind of me saying, all right, you know what? I'm at a point now where I got lucky. Because rather than allowing everything external to shape, to completely like, you know, copy who I was gonna be, I was kind of this social awkward nerd that just did it all. I like okay, I don't want to be anybody. I'm gonna be my own weird self, you know. And now it's, you know, the times are changing, popular opinion shaping you. It all seems silly once you get to the point that you know who you are. Mm-hmm. The search seems a little silly, you know. And so the concept of Blown Away is like, all right, well, I'm definitely not going to wear a man bun. I'm definitely
you figured that out.
I'm not going the hipster route. I'm not gonna try for trendy. I'm simply not blown away by what people are modeling themselves after now. Call it getting old, or call it being confident. Whatever it is, you know, I've kind of reached a point where I know who I am, and I know how to improve and what I want to improve on. And I also know that if I run into something that I want to be, I'm not too proud to say that it's greater than I am and to work for it. But I'm not going to just drink the Kool-Aid.
To couple that too, the only difference between the people that are where you want to be is the fact that they just did it. There's no difference between you and them except the fact that they applied themselves and they did it and they put themselves full force into it. Maybe a little bit of luck, but there's really, I mean, musicianship wise, there's local musicians who never see the amount of success as that are just as